right. Thank you so much for joining in once more. You are here with Leah live at 5 p.m. We're always talking about the lab, how to get into corporate and what to do, what not to do. And today, like yesterday, we are talking interviews. And wow, it really was quite an amazing discussion we had yesterday. Just a bit of a quick recap. Hi. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. The show has started when Gloria walks in. You just know. Definitely. So excited about today's episode. Really, we're just going to be talking a little bit more about interviews, what to do, what not to do, what to expect, and literally how to tell a story. We basically were just talking yesterday, hey Theo, about storytelling in your interviews. So I'm going to put there and pin it. Storytelling in interviews, and how to use that to your advantage. So what is so important about storytelling in an interview? The one thing is we all have different stories. We may all have studied biomedical technology. We may all have been, maybe for example, a group of you is South Africans. Maybe you are females. We all have really pretty much similarities, but your story will always be one that is different and sets you apart from everybody else. So in an interview, when they actually have their criteria and they set up the criteria to say the person we're looking for must have this qualification, we're looking for this kind of personality, we're looking for someone who's willing to travel, someone who has a bit of a background in virology, for example, whatever it is. So basically, when you're going into the interview, you're going into the interview with people who are similar to you, because you guys are now really drawn down from the whole, whether it was 200 applicants, 1,000 applicants, however many it was, to 10, and now eventually about 5 that are now getting like face-to-face interviews, whatever the numbers are. At that point in time, you are sitting there with 5 virologists who have national diplomas. Maybe one or two of them has a BTech, the other one has a master's, the other one has a PhD, the other one has been a lab manager for 10 years. You maybe just started as a newly qualified tech. You've really pretty much been in the lab for about a year or two, but you are basically there because you've met the basic requirement or the minimum requirement that they needed. So what does that tell you? Already when you're going into the interview, my goodness, you've already gone through so much. You've already gone through the whole selection process. You've jumped the whole computer system, because some of them literally get screened by computers and keywords and all of that. So you've gone to that next level. You've gone to a point where HR and maybe even the hiring manager has gone through the CVs, or a recruitment agency, however way you got in. So by the time you get to the interview, you really should not be sitting there panicking, thinking, oh my God, what now? The first thing you can do is clap for yourself, pat yourself on the back. You've already done so much up to this point that you are actually there sitting and getting an invitation for that interview. So instead of just going into a panic mode, rather congratulate yourself and be happy that you've actually made it to you need to celebrate every milestone. Job searching and job hunting is not easy. It's the psychology that matters. It really is a psychology game, because if you make 1 or 2 applications, and we've been talking about the rejections are there. So by the time you get that interview, you would have gotten so many rejections, unless you're one of the lucky few who immediately they put in one application, interview, and they're in. It happens. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you are that kind of person, you got in immediately, that's amazing. Then the next time you move on to another one, look, if you are that kind of person, every time you're streaking, things are like easy. It's okay. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You celebrate. But if you are that person who's struggling and you've been rejected multiple times, it's really easy for you to start questioning yourself. And by the time you get to that interview, you're like, oh, I've been rejected 100 times by different companies, or this very same company rejected me the last time for a different post. What's going to be different now? Look, you have to go in with that positive mindset. Do whatever it takes. I don't know, you pray, you eat, you meditate, you have fun, you play with your dog or your cat, whatever it is to get yourself into that higher energy. you do that. If it means calling a friend, calling your mom, well, for me, it matters not what you do. What matters then is how do you place yourself into that mental readiness, because absolutely you are one step ahead. And the other thing you need to remember is when you do get into that interview, yes, you are looking for a job, but you know the other thing is the company also needs someone for that position to be filled. So it's not a one-way street here. It's not you constantly looking for a job. You need to remember that the company is looking for someone like you. The company needs to fill that position, meaning they have a gap and they need you or one of the other 5 people to fill it in. So your only job there is to see also for yourself that it's not a one-way thing. They're not looking at you. Hey, Busi, thanks for joining. The company also needs someone to fill in that position. So it's not a thing where you are now applying for this company desperately. So they desperately also need someone to fill in that position. Yes, they might have 200 other options. Yes, they might have to go through a whole pile of CVs. But you know what? They're looking for a certain type of person who meets the criteria they're looking for, who will fit into the culture, who has certain relationships if needed, who has, you are not the only one looking for a job here. The company itself needs to fill that position in. They need to fill that position. Hey, they need to fill that position. So don't go there with your bags and your sag and going, oh my gosh, I desperately need this job. Yes, you do. But they desperately need you too. They desperately need someone like you. They desperately need to fill that position. They also have their own KPIs. They also have to fill in that position within a certain amount or period of time. They also have a thing or a position that has now probably at that time been spread among all the other employees that they have, and they're now taking strain until you can get hired. So when you get into that interview, you've already gone through so much. Pat yourself on the back. You've done so well. And remember, you are not the only one looking to fill that position. The company itself, as much as they may come looking like, yeah, we are here interviewing you. No, it's a two-way direction. It's bi-directional. You want to know whether this is the right company for you. You want to know whether they will pay you the money you're looking for. You want to know whether they'll give you the benefits you're looking for. You want to know whether they have the hours that are comfortable for you. So all of those things, you yourself are interviewing the company in the interview. Interviews have people think, no, the company is interviewing you. No. You are also at that time interviewing that company to see if it suits you, if it suits your culture, if it suits your lifestyle, if it can maintain your lifestyle, or if it can even put you to a higher lifestyle. What you will then do for them is, like we were talking about value yesterday. Value is just nothing more than what you have to offer. Don't go and get stuck in the word value. There's always words that are popular for a certain time period, and value is popular at this point in time. Next time they'll be talking about something else. You have to have charisma. Remember when IQ was more important than EQ? We didn't even know there was EQ. So you had to have the highest IQ. You have to be the most intelligent person. And then we realized that you also have to have some form of emotional. You need to be there emotionally as well. So, and there's so many other cues that you can think about. So it becomes a momentary thing that everybody's excited about. Value is nothing for you to worry about. Value is what you already know, what you are already capable of, and that you can just show them how what you already know without reinventing the wheel can be able to take what you are and who you are, because you can't change who you are. You can't go and do an MBA just before an interview. You can't go and you can do like a short, quick course. You can go on YouTube. You can go read a book, go watch some videos. You can equip yourself at that time. But what you already are was already enough to get you through that whole list of people, whether it was 200 applicants, 1,000 applicants. You've already done so much that they are already at this point impressed by you and your profile and your CV and whatever else you use to get in, that at this point in time, it's a matter of you just trying to figure out, okay, I think I like this one. When you see a guy for the first time or a girl for the first time, you look at them, you're like, okay, he's kind of cute. Maybe let's just have a bit of a talk, and you're like, I don't even like his voice. Okay, I don't think I like his muscles. Okay, next. And then you go to the next one, you're like, okay, I think I kind of like him. So that's the whole process in the interview until you get to like that sweet spot where you're like, I like the way he talks to me. I think he's respectful. But let me get to meet this person. Over the phone, he sounds nice. Then you meet in person. You have this one-on-one interview now where you say, okay, fine. Tell me about yourself. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? What value do you have to offer? Da, da, da. But in that time, you also want to ask this person the same questions to say, okay, fine. So here I am, my qualifications, my skills, my history, my relationships, my projection as I see myself in the next coming 5-10 years. Where do you see yourself and where can you put me and use me to the best of my abilities? Are you going to pay for my studies? Are you going to give me a chance to make my own decision and handle my own projects? Are you going to train me and equip me in a way that I will be able to go from 0 to 100 in my job? Will I have the chance to be able to, whether it's training overseas or whether it's training locally? Will I have a mentor? Will I have training that's paid for? Will I have a culture where I'm able to speak if I have a suggestion? Does the company allow? You can ask those things. Does the company allow a newbie like me to put a suggestion forward? Because you don't want to now move from it. The thing with most interviews is that, let's say, for example, you're coming from the lab and you're moving to corporate. When you are in the lab, and maybe you were a senior or a lab manager or a trainer or whatever position you held in the lab, and now you're moving to corporate. When you move to corporate, you basically must consciously take yourself from a point of competence. You were very much competent in the lab. You knew everything in the lab. You could train with your eyes closed. And now you're moving to this place where you now have to allow yourself to be incompetent. And you need to be okay with that. So that, again, we'll talk about it another time, maybe in the next couple of days coming through, about change management. And how do you handle change? And how do you actually take that going from being competent, where you knew everything, you were comfortable, to now coming to a space where you are completely incompetent. Not that you don't know anything much about the position that you are in, but you still don't know the culture, you don't know the people, you don't know the customers, you don't know what they really looking for, and you still need to learn. So for example, you were a trainer and now you are an application specialist, or you are now an account manager, or you are now in sales. You need to allow yourself to be incompetent. And the nice thing about being incompetent is this: when you are incompetent, you're able to ask questions. The best people are the new people. New people can ask questions. I don't even want to call them stupid questions, but you are allowed to ask questions. You are allowed to act dumb at that time to get your information. But I'm telling you now, it's more difficult for someone who's been in the company for 5 years to ask something that someone who just joined can ask easily and say, you know what, I'm not really sure what the process is here. How do I actually check this and that? So when you are new, take advantage of that. It's probably the best time for you to be able to ask questions, get to learn the processes, write them down if you need to, record them if you need to. You can just ask for permission to say, can I record this? Because I don't want to ask you the same thing over and over. So I feel like if I record it, I will be able to just play it either at home later on, and I don't have to really write down and miss certain things. I'd like to take this opportunity now to listen to what you have to say, and then I'll take my notes at home while I listen to this recording again. So if they allow that, then it's fine. Then you can definitely skip all the other stuff. If they give you a bit of a manual or a piece of paper or whatever it is that they can give you, so allow yourself and use the opportunity. And you can even say that in the interview, to say, you know what, I will allow myself, I know I'm very competent where I'm coming from now, but I will give myself a chance, and I will be asking questions. I will be taking initiative on a lot of things. I will not be waiting for someone to show me what to do. It's really a thing, and you must tell them that you are coming in with knowledge. You are coming in with some form of competence. Some of it you might not know, and they might not know how to apply that in the new position. It's your job as the one that's being interviewed to say, I have a skill in material management. How will that be used in this position? Or how can I use that? Either you ask them, or you yourself think of yourself and say, you know what, I've done this. I've done this also. I've done that also. What is it that I can take from these things? These are what I'm so good at, say, diffing. For example, you decided to be a diff master. It might be completely unrelated to the chemistry applications position you are doing now, but you are clean path, meaning you have chemistry, hematology, and micro. So the way you do that, you say, okay, fine, I am a diff specialist, but the way I got to that, then it's not about the diffing anymore. It's about how you make yourself competent in a specific area that you were initially incompetent in. Why? When you move from the lab, from a competent position, you will come into corporate incompetent. Now you need to find something from your archives, something you've done already where you were incompetent and you moved yourself to a competent position. And you can say, fine, when I was in the lab, I'm probably at this point a dev master, and this is how I did it. You can break it down for them, and you can say, I stayed over, or I went and did a course or whatever, or I trained everybody else that came in. Whatever thing you used or method you used, you can show them here to say, when I now start here, that's the same thing I will do. I will read all the manuals that you have on this analyzer. I will go through all the product informations that you have on all the essays. I will, whatever it is you need to do, I will talk to, and maybe I will take tours and go with every engineer that goes out to see what it is that they're doing. I will shadow the application specialist from the other side. Yes, it might not be my discipline, but I'm sure there's certain things I will pick up from the system and the way they do things. The fact that they phone the customer before they go there and they make an appointment prior, that's not just a discipline thing. That is something that you can learn and pick up from anyone else who you've chosen as a mentor at that time. So you will say, when I come in, this is what I will do. And you can even have a whole plan. I'll show you, I'll probably have to look for it. The plan that I used. So it was a whole, like a 3 months, 6 months plan that I wrote on a piece of paper. And I took with me to the interview to say, this is my plan. This is what I know you guys are looking at. This is what I know my role is. This is what I will do to make myself at that time valuable in the shortest amount of time for me to be able to assist you and your customers and make sure that we meet whatever KPIs are there for, say, Immuno at this time. And these are the actionable points that I will do. I will go onto the website and check all the analyzers. I will go and check the manuals, literally show them and give them a vision as to when she comes on, she already has a plan that is there. They know in the first month I'm going to do this. In the second month I'm going to do this. In the third month I'm going to do this. At the end of each month we can have a mini review with my manager to see if there's anything else that I'm not capturing correctly, or if there's, maybe they have their own onboarding thing that you will do. So you will map out then what you've prepared beforehand and what they have as their onboarding plan. So you come already prepared, ready with your onboarding plans. I'll definitely find my piece of paper, or probably somewhere in my laptop also, and I'll share with you a copy of what I personally used as a framework to say, when I start on the job, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to get myself competent. And this is how I'm going to use my previous experience into this point. But going back and, just wrapping it up for today, you really don't need to worry about you being in the interview. You also in the interview will have an opportunity to ask that employer some questions that will make you comfortable and confident enough to say that that is actually a company you want to work for. So we'll definitely do that probably on Thursday, to just say, what questions will you ask? At the end of the interview, they'll say, do you have any questions for us? So we will definitely touch on that, and also we'll just review and recap a little bit on how is it that you tell your story. Remember, I said to you, you are who you are unique. We may all have the same qualifications. Some may have better, some may have less, and whether you are over or underqualified, whatever the term is, you yourself have your own unique story, and it's how you sell yourself in that story. And so that's why it's so important. We spoke about sales previous weeks. So this is your time for you to sell yourself. I said to you, sales, you can never go wrong with a sales skill. Whether it's going to be that 2-minute course, whether it's that YouTube, whether it's that book you're going to buy, learn how to sell today, because you're not going to stop selling. It's either going to be your product, and most of the time it's going to be you that you have to sell yourself. So absolutely, I hope this was an amazing one for you. We're going to carry on the entire week with interviews and how to prep for them, or how to answer your questions, how to tackle them, and just go today and practice your storytelling. There's always a story that you need to tell. First find the problem, find the resolution, and then at the end of the day say you were the hero and how did you achieve that. So thank you. Gloria says amen to that. All right, thank you so much. I think this was a nice short one, and we'll definitely continue the rest of the week with some more interview tips and tricks. And the thing is, I'm trying to make this that it's not something that you can just go and Google or get off YouTube or whatever it is, because otherwise there will be absolutely no value. So that's why it's a mixture of also little tips and tricks here and there, and what my own personal experience and from other people's experiences has been. Amazing. Thank you so much, Gloria. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Leave them in my comment or in the DM. So I'll definitely save this one on the IGTV and then try and link it up on YouTube also. Leah Emulai. Thank you so much. See you again tomorrow 5 p.m. Bye.